Welcome to the Sandro channel. Make sure that you subscribe.
Hi folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans, and today we're going to be doing a review. Yeah, it's been a while since I did a review. Actually, sadly, the last time I did a review, I actually did a review of the cartoon Koala Man, and sadly, I think I deleted it or it got corrupted or something, and I never ended up releasing it, which is a real shame. But yeah, this time I'm getting you guys this video. You are getting this video, okay? I'm going to make sure. We are going to be doing a review of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I've seen it in theaters. It was very cool. And we're going to talk about the audience scores. We're not going to be talking about the spin-off. There's been a lot of talk about the spin-offs and Donkey Kong. And, I'll do that in a different video. So this time, I'm just here for the review, okay? If you guys are too lazy to watch the video, here's my review. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's really good. Here we see a lot of nastiness with the critics. I think originally this was at like 46, right? Like it was a very low score, and it slowly climbed its way up to 57. Meanwhile, the audience seems to have really loved this movie. I do not think this was a 96 out of 10 movie. Like I said, I'm giving it just a very solid 8 out of 10, and I will explain why. I'll explain why I didn't give this a 9 out of 10. Why didn't I give this a 10 out of 10? And what could have really made it better? What could have made this a 10 out of 10? I'll give you guys my thoughts. But yeah, if you don't want to watch the whole video, 8 out of 10 is what I'm giving it. So was it a good movie? Yes, it was. I do recommend it. You should go watch it. But the ending was rushed, so we're going to talk about it here. Spoilers. Please leave the video if you have not seen the movie yet. I don't want to spoil you. I don't want to be the guy to spoil you. You need to go see the film for yourself, and you go do that, then you come back, and maybe you'll hear my thoughts and why I gave it the rank I gave it. So yeah, here we go. Okay, ready? We're good. The spoilers are out of the way. Let's go. So the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's been a long, long time since we last seen Super Mario in the big screen. The original movie was very, very bad. It was like this weird live action one, and it was like really, really awful. Some people have said that the original Super Mario Bros. Movie was like one of the worst of all time, especially in the video game category. And it was very stinky. I'll tell you that. But this movie, we're back. We're in a new light here. We're in animated form. And the movie looked gorgeous, right? So no more live action. They do make some references to, not the movie, but they do make some references to the old Super Mario Bros. Show, right? They had that show where it was kind of like a weird hybrid of live action and cartoons. It was kind of weird. But they did do some references to that. They are in New York. They do start in New York. We see tons of references. Pauline is the mayor. We see things like that. Mario has a family. Okay, what the hell's that about? We got to talk about that. Okay, that was the most baffling. I don't know. I don't know what was happening there. Usually we never see any of Mario's family. Okay, never. When do we ever see them? Comics, maybe in the comics a few times. They barely ever appear. I don't think they've ever appeared in the video games, have they? Mario's mom and father and the mom and pop. We have just never seen them. And in this movie, it was so wacky because I don't understand. They open up their own plumbing business. Mario has a dream, and the dad was being very negative. He's like, you're bringing down Luigi with you, Mario. I thought that was cool that, they gave some references. They gave some inspiration from the old show where they were in New York. They were plumbers. They did a really cool commercial. I love the commercial. That was great stuff. But then it's it's like, who are these family members? Who the hell are these people? I don't know. There was a whole, okay, I get the idea. I'm Italian, right? Italians usually have very big families, whenever I go for Christmas or Easter or whatever, we got the whole family there, it's a lot of people, 30 plus people sometimes, depending. If there's a funeral, oh my dear God, you're going to see everyone everywhere, in an Italian funeral. It's crazy. But yeah, Mario had a big Italian family. We don't get like any of these people. We don't get the dad's name. We don't get the mom's name. They don't like even, they barely have a speaking role. Like Mario's mom had like 2 lines. Like, what the hell was that about? So yeah, the parents get like no introduction here. We don't know much about them. We don't like, they have very few speaking lines. There's like another guy at the table. I'm like, who the hell is this? You know? Like, I don't know, because I didn't watch too much of the original like Mario Bros like hybrid show from back in the day. So like, I don't know, does Mario's like father have a brother? Is that who we were seeing at the dinner table there? I don't know who the hell those characters were. If you guys want to go in the comments down below, let me know. This movie did not did not explain. Let me get some water here. This movie did not explain like any of the Mario family dynamic other than Mario and Luigi are brothers and they have parents. That's all we got here. It was dry as hell. So the family dynamic I felt was very weak. They needed to put like another 10 minutes into the family there. I think we needed to know a little bit more about the family. And it would have been cool to see more inspiration of like how Mario got to like where he was, right? Like, you know, did he go to school in New York and Brooklyn? Like, it would have been cool if we got a little bit more, you know, just backstory on Mario. But I guess it's Nintendo. They probably just didn't want to give that sort of, you know, backstory. They like to leave their characters a little bit more open, a little bit more vague, right? And so, yeah, I think that was definitely a portion where you could say, yeah, this is why I don't give it like a 10 out of 10. The backstory could have been really fleshed out a little bit more here for Mario, especially considering most people just have never seen his parents. Like, I've been wanting to like know a little bit more about Mario for a long time, and this was an opportunity that was yet again missed. So that's where I would knock off a little bit of points there. I'm not going to knock off points for like some of the shit the critics were complaining about. Like, you know, Peach wasn't like a full scale girl boss, you know, like there's people who are like literally complaining. What was that? The Looper YouTube channel. If you go on YouTube, you type in Looper, they had a video that was like mass downvoted into oblivion, where they were basically complaining and crying about how Peach wasn't an ultimate girl boss that didn't get the final hit on Bowser and shit. Like, it's called the Super Mario Bros. Movie, not the Peach movie, you know? Maybe they'll do a Peach movie. Actually, there's a video game. I played it. I actually beat it myself. Super Princess Peach, right? She uses the Vibe Wand, which is very sexual. And, and she uses her emotions to, like, you know, she has like one where it makes her tear up and she can like grow beanstalks and weird stuff like that. And she has like a bunch of different like emotions that you have to switch between to beat the levels and stuff. So yeah, that'd be cool if they like eventually did like a Super Princess Peach movie or something. But this is Mario's big entry here. This is the big entry for Mario and his brother Luigi. And yeah, I you know, this is not the Princess Peach show, so I'm not gonna knock off points just because Peach didn't get the win in the end. You know, that's stupid. These critics are just being stupid trash. Like, seriously, they just want the movie to go woke and broke, but no, Nintendo stopped them. There actually were hints of that in the movie. There definitely was some hints that like they wanted to make Peach like big, like a much stronger and more powerful character. It seems like Nintendo has come in and sort of said, you know, chill out here. Mario's the main mascot. We got to give him the win, not Peach. So I'm glad Nintendo did that. What I'm not glad, I think she should have been a damsel in distress. I know I gave this opinion on my live stream. Some of you guys agreed with me. Some of you guys didn't. Every freaking video game, except for like Super Princess Peach and a few others, she literally just gets kidnapped. She's in a cage for the whole movie, or for the whole video game. She's kind of like trapped behind Bowser or whatever, maybe in a cage or something like that. Yeah, she was not a damsel like in distress here, and maybe they're saving that for like the next movie or something, where like Peach gets kidnapped. You know, maybe she's baking Mario a cake. That's like the new Nintendo plot. It seems like in a lot of these games nowadays, it's like Peach is baking Mario a cake, and then something goes horribly wrong. Bowser snatches her, and then Mario has to do whatever to save her. Right? The old save the princess story. Which is a fan favorite, especially if you're an old school Disney fan. A lot of damsel in distresses back in the day. Not anymore. Now, Disney's gone full woke and broke, They do not do that anymore. They want all their females acting like men, and they want all the men acting like wimpy little bitches. There was moments here where I felt Mario was a little bit of a, wimp. I thought he could have had a bit of a stronger showing, but we did not see that. So no, there was some good scenes where Mario, especially towards the end, where Mario got the nice beat down on Bowser with Luigi, but like. Yeah, there was definitely some scenes where, like, especially during the training montage with, like, Peach and Mario, it's like, Peach just is like, oh yeah, I actually did it on my first try, really belittling Mario. Then they try and crack a joke, like, she's like, oh yeah, but I was born here. Does that make you feel better? And he's like, yeah, a little bit. So that was kind of like fun, but I don't know. Peach beating it on her first try, kind of lame. It would have been cool if they just didn't have that dialogue at all, personally. But there was definitely some moments where they were knocking Mario down and propping Peach up. But it wasn't like overtly noticeable. I thought that, there was like in the trailer, like they showed like Peach, going full girl boss mode. She had like a spear in her hand and she's like, let's go beat Bowser. I thought they were going to go full like bullshit with it. I thought it was going to be a disaster, but, no, I'm very happy that they decided not to go that route. There was also another scene where she uses the ice flower and just like, it really was like, wow, does she even need Mario to save her? Like, why is Mario here if she can do all this? There was definitely that scene that really was like, yeah, it's a bit much, but, she didn't get Mario gets the big win, so I feel like that's the most important part. But hopefully Nintendo hears some of this feedback going forward, and they don't cater to the dog shit critics that don't care about the movie. Let's talk about some of the other stuff. One of the biggest gripes I had with the movie is it was called the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And right, like 10 minutes into the movie, okay, they separate, as soon as they go down into the sewers, they go into the pipe, Luigi and Mario get separated. Now, they do have a fun little Luigi's Mansion kind of, cameo or reference where it's like, Luigi's kind of like in a dark shady castle with a flashlight and he's like, Mario, giving us, Luigi's kind of a little bit of a coward, especially in the modern games. He's a bit of a shy fellow. So that was like interesting that they went that route, but like, I personally thought that Mario, Luigi, and Peach, and Toad, because it would have felt like, what was that game way back? Super Mario Bros. 2, right? Is that what it was? Super Mario Bros., like the one that was a reskin of Doki Doki Panic, where, Peach had the ability to fly, and Luigi could jump really high. Toad was super fast, and Mario was kind of like the middleman of like all the characters. And they pick up radishes and like Wart. Wart was the final boss in that one. Yeah, that's what I would have liked to see, because we had all the characters. We had all, like, Mario was there, Peach was there, Toad. Toad comes along for the journey. All that was missing was Luigi. I feel like Luigi should not have been kidnapped that early on. I did not want to see that. I wanted to see Luigi learn alongside his brother. It would have been really cool to have Luigi in the training montage. It would have been really cool to have Luigi in more of the other scenes. But no, we did not get that. Luigi ends up being basically what Peach should have been, the damsel in distress. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, goddamn Luigi ends up being the bitch in this one. Poor Luigi. They absolutely trounced poor Luigi. He does get a bit of a moment towards the end where, he's like, Mario's always saving me. Then he grabs the sewer grate and protects Mario from the fire blast. That was cool, but this is the Super Mario Bro. Why didn't you just call this the Super Mario movie? right? Like Luigi's there for like 5 minutes. Like just call it the Super Mario movie instead of the Super Mario Bros movie, right? I felt like they shafted Luigi huge. That's where I'm knocking another point off. I did not like that. I think that for the first movie, maybe later on, right? Maybe in the sequel or something, you could do that. You could do something like that where Luigi gets like kidnapped, and I wanted to see Luigi get used to like, the Mushroom Kingdom, right? He doesn't really get used to the Mushroom Kingdom. It would have been cool seeing Luigi train with power-ups. It would have been cool seeing like Luigi, helping out in other instances. And in the end, he does get a big moment, but it just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't enough for me. I wanted to see more of Luigi in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, right? Bros, where was your brother? So that's where I knock off another portion. This is another point where I would knock off here. Oh, by the way, I gotta talk about some of the positives. The positives, I think, for the most part, were the backgrounds. My God, they were so detailed, so many references. You could watch this movie like 20 times, and every time you watch it, you could see, just in this shot right here, you got trees, you got mushroom, you got a piranha plant in the background, just looking at the backgrounds, they were gorgeous. I like the animation here. Mario, I think that honestly, I can't get used to Mario's face and Peach. Mario and Peach, Luigi actually looked pretty good. Luigi and Toad look pretty decent, but I think Mario and Peach could have had some better work done on their faces. I think they could have looked a little bit better. But that's just me. I think it's the eyeballs. I think Mario needs to have bigger eyes. And Peach's face just looked a little bit weird to me personally. I think they could have did a better job on Peach's face. But yeah, that was that. Any other good things? Yes, I mean there was so many good things, but like the story, we'll talk about that. The music was great. A lot of great musical pieces, a lot of great references in there. One of the things I'll quickly talk about is, for example, I think if you're a fan of like Super Mario, if you know Nintendo, if you know the company, right, you're going to notice a lot of stuff like Mario was playing Kid Icarus in his bedroom, right, towards the beginning. You're going to notice a lot of this stuff. I'm a Nintendo fan. My brothers are Nintendo fans. They would notice this. My mom and her like boyfriend, they would not know like they don't know Super Mario, right? They don't know any of these characters. They wouldn't get any of these references. So like, I feel like this was a very, you had to be a Nintendo fan. There was a lot of like references in there where it's like, wow, they, if you just weren't a Nintendo fan, you would be like, okay, what was that? That you might be like, that was a bit weird there, like the Mario Kart scene, right? That's kind of weird. Like they kind of wanted to reference Mario Kart, but like I felt like that entire karting scene was kind of like wasted, right? It's like they're like, yeah, we gotta, they go all the way from the Mushroom Kingdom to like, the Kong City, right? They go to the Kong City. They ask Cranky Kong. That's the thing I almost forgot to talk about. Some of the voice acting, I think for the most part, almost all the voice acting was good. Jack Black was the best. Peach was very solid. Chris Pratt as Mario. I think there was a couple times when Chris Pratt forgot he was supposed to be doing an Italian accent, and you kind of hear Star-Lord. You kind of hear his regular kind of shtick, right? You don't hear the Italian accent, you just hear Chris Pratt. I think he missed a couple lines there where he was supposed to sound a little more Italian-like, but what can you do, right? That was a little knock there. But the biggest knock I have, Cranky Kong's voice actor. I could not stand Cranky Kong's voice actor. In fact, the Cranky Kong character, I didn't even like his design. When I think of Cranky Kong, I think of an old geezer with a giant beard in a goddamn rocking chair, rambling on about some bullshit from his past. Oh my God. And his voice. When I think Cranky Kong, I'm like, oh, DK, you're a piece of shit. Or I would think of like some cranky old elderly person. they go and give Cranky Kong this like weird Italian mobster kind of like, hey DK, what's going on? You're my son, you know, what the hell, you know? It's like, what the fuck? Cranky Kong doesn't sound cranky. That's an issue. He was not cranky. Why is he called Cranky Kong if he's not cranky? That was a huge issue for me. I didn't like that. But back to what I was saying, the racing part of the movie. They go all the way to the Kong City. Okay, they go to the Kong City. Then it's like they immediately are like they're running away from, like, Bowser ambushed them, and then they immediately just go right back to the Mushroom Kingdom. It felt so, I don't know, out of, like, disproportionate. Like, it was weird. It was like, it felt like they were like, the first half of the movie was pretty good. But once they get up to that go-karting scene, then it started to feel like things were really rushing. Like, we didn't really have a lot of time. And so they immediately go back to the Mushroom Kingdom, which is gorgeous, right? Like, I love the intricacies. The town looks great. We get to see all the toads. We get to see all these little toads. They're buying items. They've got all this cool economy stuff going on here with all the shops. Like, it was really cool. I love the decal of the town, right? But, like, man, they, like, I just hated the montage. There was this kind of montage where Princess Peach and Mario, you know, she shows them how to use the Fire Flower. They kind of skip a bunch of worlds, right? Like, I thought when the movie started, usually a Mario game is like 8 worlds. I thought that the movie, right, because we start off in the Penguin City. And I thought what was going to happen is Bowser was going to go to all 8 kingdoms, right? And get all of the stars or something like that. And he was going to, like, combine them into, like, a giant star that makes him, like, super huge and powerful. I thought that was what was going to be, like, the big finale. But we don't really see, like, that exactly thing happen there, right? Like, we don't get to see all the 8 kingdoms. We basically get to see, like, the penguins get slaughtered in 2 seconds, so the ice world is done. They go on a montage really fast. They go through the desert. They go through a couple other places really, really fast. We see the Mushroom Kingdom. We go to the Kong City for like 5. There's a good fight there. Okay, there was a good fight. I think that was a great fight. With Donkey Kong and Mario. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, where they're on the sort of, I don't even know what you would call it, meshing, like whatever. They're in the arena. Okay, that's what we'll say. They're in the arena on the blocks, and they're having a really good fight. I like that fight. Donkey Kong, he comes off as an arrogant asshole, and Seth Rogen, I don't like Seth Rogen's voice acting. He always plays the same character with the goddamn same voice, but he was acceptable. I accepted his voice for this one. It was okay. And he put on a good performance. He was a bit of a showboating type of character in this movie, Donkey Kong. He loves the limelight, and then he basically leads to Mario's victory because he's such an arrogant dick. He didn't actually think Mario could win, so he kind of goes easy on him. He gives him a lot of opportunities to win, and Mario does take the win in the end, which was really cool. Because we needed that for the plot to move forward, right? You know, Peach wanted the Kong's backup army so she could save the Toads. And, it's kind of like, man, I don't know. I feel like that first part of the movie was really good up until they start getting onto the Mario Kart. The Mario Karting stuff, it felt so weird. It felt so out of left field. The Kongs are just apparently all god tier mechanics. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know, man. They're apparently like more technologically advanced than Princess Peach. Like, what is this? I don't know. Kind of weird, but that was a wacky portion of the movie for sure. I don't know how I feel about the racing car scene. I think it could have been handled a lot better. I kind of wanted them to go from world to world to world, but instead we go Mushroom Kingdom. Or I guess we go New York. We go New York, Mushroom Kingdom, Kong City, I guess we kind of go on the Rainbow Road tracks for a little bit. Then we immediately go back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then back to New York. So it's just a very, I don't know. I feel like we needed more exploration. This is a Mario game. I wanted it to feel a little bit more like the video games. Rescue Peach, go through the different worlds. And I think it would have been great time for, like, you know, more bonding with DK and Mario. Because I feel like there was definitely a bonding issue here, right? Like, I feel like none of the characters really bonded here other than Mario and Luigi. A little bit with DK, but, like, you know, okay, here's a great example. Princess Peach and Mario, they kind of have this flirtation thing going on where Mario seems to like her. Maybe Peach has a little bit of feeling there too. They don't really say it though. But then later in the movie, like while they're on the racetracks, it's kind of like, what the hell? Like, they're poking fun at Mario, you know, like, you know, Mario can get the princess. You know, DK's like, oh, you like her, but you won't get her, you know? They were poking fun at Mario and the relationship, which made me think that, like, usually in the video games, towards the end, Princess Peach gets, like, she gets rescued by Mario, and then she gives him a kiss, usually behind a curtain or some shit so the audience can't see it. But no kisses, no hints at relationships here. Just no bonding. Like, the characters, this movie needed another hour. That's one of my biggest gripes here. We're going to talk about the ending very soon. This movie definitely needed another hour. That's my opinion. We needed more of Mario's family. We need more of, exploration. We needed to see some of the other worlds. We needed, like, more of everything, right? Like, more of the Kong City, because we barely even get the Kongs. They get wiped out in 2 seconds by Bowser's army. There was a funny thing. At least we get to see, like, Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong in the arena, where, Cranky Kong's like, shut up, Diddy Kong, or whatever the hell he said. I can't remember what he said, but that was at least a good funny nod. But again, if you're, like, my mom has never played Mario, she doesn't know, she would be like, I don't get it. Why is Cranky Kong pointing at this weird monkey? She doesn't know who Dixie Kong or Diddy Kong. It would just feel like a weird sort of out of nowhere thing, right? So there is that kind of issue, but they lean hard into their Nintendo fan base, and I think it was a good idea, but it also, I could see it alienating some of the people who don't really know about, like, the franchise. But that could be a great way to get them into the franchise by making them more aware of these things. It's a two-way street here. It's a two-way street. It has its pros, it has its cons, but it's fine, whatever. What else do we want to talk? So yeah, the relationships. I do like the scene where, like, Mario and Donkey Kong have to get out of that, like, fish from the video. I think it was from the video games. Had to be, right? They had to get out of the fish. The fish swallows the go-kart with the bomb. And then that was great. That was really great storytelling there, where, we kind of see the fish eat the cart, and then the cart ends up being the way to get out. I think that was really great. And it was very subtle too, right? Because we see the cart falling down with them, and it's out of sight, out of mind for a few seconds. And then you're like, oh yeah, the cart. That's how they're going to get out of there. And then they blow the fish sky high, and and then they skedaddle. So that was good there. Speaking of Donkey Kong, while we're still on him, this was cool. I think, have we ever seen Donkey Kong with the fire flower? Because that was really cool. He turns red and white. You could kind of see him here. He turns red and white. He has the fire powers. They're going through they're just stomping all of the enemies in their way. It was really cool. That was one of the cool action scenes. Mario and Donkey Kong had some really, really sweet action scenes, and I really enjoyed them. So those were some of the good things there. Now I want to talk about the comedy. Okay, before we get to the end of the story here, want to quickly go over the comedy. I saw this movie in theaters, which means I had the privilege of sort of hearing the audience's reaction. And I think this was a great action movie, but it was not a very good comedy movie. My audience, my theater, was mostly children and adults. Like, it was a good portion of kids and adults. And people were not laughing at this film. There was a couple scenes, the part where Bowser sings, like, there was a giggle or two there. There was the biggest laugh in the whole movie that I think that we saw was the scene where Toad, when they're starting out, basically just as they're starting out on Rainbow Road to like go to the next scene there, they all trip out their cars. They all get their Mario Karts ready. And, they all get their like smaller cars. Then you look at Toad, and Toad's on this giant ass monster truck. And then he looks over at everyone and he's like, "What's up?" Everybody in the audience really liked that. That was probably the funniest part of the whole movie. But god damn, the whole rest of the movie, nobody was laughing. Like, there were very few and I agree myself, I was not laughing during this movie. It was an action movie. There was very few comedy scenes. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. I personally, when I saw this, was like, it kind of looks like a kid's movie, right? Like, it's made by Illumination. It has a kid-like aesthetic to it. It's Nintendo, they usually aim their games at kids and stuff. But, like, man, there was not a lot of funny things. Like, the kids in this, I saw kids on their cell phone. That's never a good sign. Which is, again, like, why I don't give it, like, a 10 out of, like, the kids were not laughing here. So that is definitely an issue. I think they need to address that in the sequel. There wasn't a lot of laughs to be had. But the action scenes really worked well. I did like the action scenes. Now so that's my stick on the comedy. I think the movie needed to be a lot more funny, because my theater was crickets out there, and I myself was not laughing outside of like 3 to 4 scenes in the whole movie. So there's that. Now we're going to get to the very end here. This is where I think the movie really kind of falls apart and doesn't get a 10 out of 10. I gave the film an 8 out of 10. My big issue is, so Bowser, right? Bowser plays Jack Black. Jack Black plays Bowser, is what I should have said there. So yeah, Bowser's pretty cool. He comes off as very menacing towards the beginning. He utterly destroys the penguins. Then he becomes a goofball where he's like singing and, he's keeping people in cages. Also, what was up with that star sprite? That star sprite that was like with Luigi for the movie. It's like, I want to die. Yeah. I don't, like, nobody in my theater was really laughing at, like, I didn't even think it was that funny, honestly. The star sprite being like a very, nihilistic little fellow there, I don't know, man. The star, like, that character could have been written right out of the whole movie. Like, that didn't need to be there. It felt like they were trying to get laughs, like trying to make Luigi's situation a little bit funnier, but I don't know. That character didn't necessarily need to be in the movie. That character was kind of just iffy. And I thought the audience, my theater, was gonna laugh more at that like character, like, I can't wait to die, yippee. But nobody was really taking the bait on that. Me either, right? Like, I just saw that star sprite and I was like, okay, I get what they were going for, but it didn't really work out. I didn't really give a good chuckle when the star, was talking. Most of the laughs were like, from wacky scenes when like Mario was getting hit in the fight with like DK, and like I said, the Toad scene with the monster truck. That was it. Basically that was it. No big fun. Oh, and the scene where Bowser sings. Other than that, and they do overplay the Bowser singing thing. They did it like twice, and by the time the second one comes around towards the end, people weren't really digging it. People weren't laughing. It was like they used the joke twice. Okay, it's kind of dead now. So that's my issues with the comedy. Let's finish up here with the story. The story was the ending sequence was rushed. I said in my live stream, I talked about this a lot. Wait. I stopped myself talking about it because, I just basically said, I felt it was rushed multiple times I didn't want to spoil people during my live stream. But here's what I'll say. As soon as the bullet bill is fired, as soon as that bullet bill is fired, I think the whole movie kind of got, like, it should not have ended that fast. Like, so basically there's this giant bullet bill. Mario ends up stopping it. He does what does he do? He punches it in the eyeball or something like that, right? It was about to like crash right into Peach's castle. And no, Mario like whacks it or throws something at it, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna crash. I'm gonna follow Mario now. Then he follows Mario right back into New York, and it gets really weird. I don't understand. Instead of the bomb or not the bomb, the bullet bill. Instead of the bullet bill, like really exploding or like I don't know what the hell they were thinking for the end of this movie. It felt like they wrote half a movie and then they're like, yeah, okay, somebody needs to finish this thing because we have no clue how we're going to finish this movie. So the plot that they choose here is very unusual. They decide, and by the way, I kind of addressed the Peach's fire ice flower thing earlier, right? Where she basically, her and Toad come up with a plan to use the ice flower. They freeze everyone. And I think the reason they did that is actually to stop Kamek. Kamek is the blue little minion guy who has the magic wand. At the beginning of the movie, he stops the entire penguin army with a single raise of his wand. That character needed to be iced because it was too broken. Mario and Luigi could not fight against Kamek. All he would do is raise his wand. That was the end of the movie. So I understand why they had to make Peach kind of like do the whole, she can save herself gimmick there. But yeah, that was a bit much. I think that was a bit much. But I guess they did need to stop Kamek from using the wand because everyone would complain like, yeah, that's a bit broken. We probably need to get rid of that wand immediately. Or else Mario and Luigi could never actually beat Bowser. So that was good, I guess. But what if Mario and Luigi grabbed the wand? I guess they would have defeated Bowser in 2 seconds. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have added Kamek to this movie. Maybe just an idea. Anyway, yeah, so maybe in the sequel, who knows? Maybe we'll see something crazy with Kamek's wand where like maybe Mario uses it or steals it for a second. And I don't know, that could be in the sequel. Who knows? But they got rid of Kamek. Then the whole Bullet Bill thing happens. Bullet Bill, it chases Mario. And instead of just destroying the pipe or anything like that, shit gets really weird. It kind of like goes into the pipe and there's this weird massive explosion that brings the entire Mushroom Kingdom into New York. And this is where I don't know what the hell they were going with here. I thought, for a second there, I thought I had a cardiac arrest and I was watching Star versus the Forces of Evil again, where like the final of Star versus where the Earth merges with like Muni and it's a whole like clusterfuck. That's what I was like. Whoa, what's happening here? Why are we doing a Star versus? I didn't like that. I think the Mushroom Kingdom and New York should have been separate. Things got like really wacky where it's like what even happened at the end of this movie? Like, I don't even know. Luigi breaks free, he gets out of there, he saves his brother. They do the whole sewer thing where, he says, yeah, Mario, you saved me so many times. I'm going to save you now. Then they get the warp or the superstar and they get like their invincibility. Instead of just like 10 seconds of invincibility, they get like a good solid minute out of it. And they can also they become very powerful. I don't know what happened there, but the invincibility star there seems, or the what's it called? Superstar or whatever. It really gives them some power. Goddamn. It really, really gives them some power. They're out there doing like massive jumps and stomping Bowser like no tomorrow. Bowser puts up a decent fight, but it ends too quickly. I think there should have been like a second act where like Kamek comes in with the wand and they make Bowser big, and then Mario's father comes in and we get more backstory on Mario, like, hey son, I'm a butcher or something, I'm gonna help you. We needed something like that, like the townsfolk coming to Mario and Luigi's aid or something like that. Like we needed like something, right? We needed something. We do get Mario's father being like, that's my boy, that's Mario, and yeah, the people of the town, they definitely they're there. They don't do much, but I think it would have been a great way to put Pauline in the spotlight. Where maybe like Pauline's like, guys, we can't just leave it up to these local plumbers to stop this evil turtle creature. We must. We must help. We must. I don't know. I feel like we could have handled this ending a lot better. We needed a bigger battle. We needed a longer battle, longer movie, because we start in New York and we kind of just abruptly end in New York. We're not sure what happens at the end. Bowser gets the mini mushroom. We see in the fight with Mario and DK, Mario got the bad power up. He gets the mini mushroom. And we do see Bowser gets the mini mushroom, and that's how he ends up losing. They put him in a bottle, and that's that. That's one of the silly parts there. But yeah, man, like I felt like the final battle needed to be more drawn out. I wanted to see more power-ups. I wanted to see, like the feather. Mario uses the cape, They really focused on the cat outfit, for sure. They did focus on that. I think there was other, they did have the squirt. Was it the raccoon one or the squirt? Which one? Where the tail wraps around really fast? Kind of like Tails from Sonic. Yeah, like I felt like, I don't know. I wanted to see, I'm trying to think of what other power up. The frog suit? Like, is that what we want? Is that what we want? The frog suit? No, there had to be some other power. The Giga Mushroom, the giant mushroom, right? The one that makes Mario like super big. That would have been cool to see. There's probably other power-ups. Wasn't there a bee power-up or a cloud power-up in like Super Mario Galaxy? There's a bunch of power-ups. I would have liked to see a lot more. But yeah, we got kind of like the same ones over and over again. And that was interesting. Again, the highlight being Donkey Kong using the fire flower. That was kind of cool. I wanted to see what would happen if Toad used the fire flower. Would he turn like inverse colors? Because he's already red and white, right? Toad is already red and white, so maybe he would just change inverted colors or something. I don't know. That would have been cool if we saw that. But yeah, the battle at the end really ends. Then we get the situation where it's like, so what happened? What happened with the warp? The warp pipe exploded. Is the Mushroom Kingdom merged with Earth or New York? What happened? They skip over it because then at the end of the movie, they go back to the Mushroom Kingdom and everything's perfect. They gloss over. What about all the destruction that Bowser caused when the Mushroom Kingdom like kind of just showed up in New York and like everything was destroyed there for a second? Like what the hell happened? How did they clean that all up? I don't understand. But yeah. I think, one of the things I forgot to mention was the scene with the dog at the beginning of the movie. That was another scene where like people got one chuckle out of it, but they really milked the dog, right? That when I was talking about how the movie really lacked comedy. Yeah, just like people got like one good chuckle. Like the children were really laughing at the dog scene where against Luigi. And the dog does make an appearance at the end where, it gives Luigi the okay, where it's like, hey, you did good, Luigi. You did good after they beat Bowser. But yeah, it's like still, I didn't think it was that funny of a movie. I didn't really laugh at the dog scene myself. But it was cool showing that Mario and Luigi were actually trying to do a plumbing job. I thought that was really cool because, Mario has often been described as a plumber. We never see the goddamn guy fix anything. So, and even in this movie, he technically, they kind of destroyed that building, they didn't even fix it. So yeah, it would have been cool to actually see Mario actually goddamn fix the like pipes and, do a good couple jobs. I wanted to see Mario do good instead of being a bumbling idiot. And I wanted to see him actually do some real plumbing. Maybe teach the audience a lesson or two of like what tools you use to do plumbing. I know maybe some people would find that boring. I don't know. I thought it would be cool if they tried like actually explaining plumbing to the audience for even a 30-second little tidbit, But that's that. So there we had that. The ending was very rushed. There's a post-credit scene where it's like basically Bowser doing another song, fantasizing about Peach. which is basically bestiality when you really think about it. Yeah, kind of weird there. But and then the other thing was there's a second post-credit scene where we get to see a Yoshi egg. I can't believe I waited the entire credit. I was like there was only like 10 people left in there. I was one of the last people waiting for a post-credit scene. All it shows is Yoshi in the sewers, but we don't even get to see Yoshi's do appear. There was a cameo of Yoshi's crossing a river, which is a throwback to I think like one of the game was it? Yeah, it was like one of the Super Smash Bros. Melee where they're running across a river, or was that Yoshi 64? Does that happen? I don't know. There was a nice little reference there to some Yoshis crossing a river. Okay, very cool. But at the end of the movie, I think I would have liked to see Yoshi pop out of the egg and be like, Yoshi! Or you do something fun like that, right? That would have been really cool. But yeah, we just kind of get a Yoshi egg and it doesn't do anything. And, you know, I was looking at some of the other people in the audience were like, that's it? And I felt the same way. The ones that stayed behind, we waited through all these credits just to see a Yoshi egg zoom in, right? It just kind of zooms into a Yoshi egg, cuts to black, and that's the end. Really didn't like that. I wanted Yoshi to pop the hell right out of that egg and be like, Yoshi, Yoshi! Just go bananas, Yoshi. But we did not really see that, so that kind of sucks there. Overall, like I said, 8 out of 10. There's a lot of things I didn't like, especially like Cranky Kong. The ending was so rushed. We don't even get like a scene of them cleaning up New York. We don't get another scene of them talking with their family, like Mario, you know, like Mario doesn't say like, hey, cousin, whatever like, we don't know who these characters are. Like, it would have been great to see the end scene with like Mario's family where we're actually talking and learning about his family and heritage. Nothing, literally nothing. Come on. So yeah, there's that, you know, we do get Pauline is the mayor, but we didn't really get anything else from her. You know, there is probably going to be a Donkey Kong spin-off. It's very likely it's going to happen. And so it was cool that we got to see the Kongs here. We did see Diddy Kong. We did see, Dixie Kong. We did see obviously Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong. I honestly, I wasn't paying attention. There might have been other was Candy Kong there? Was Funky Kong there? I might need to like recheck because I didn't see them, but maybe they were in there. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But yeah, they might have been in there. I'm very curious to see what happens with like a DK movie. It does. I would watch it. Like, I enjoyed this movie. There was just very nitpicky things. And I think the runtime needed another half hour to an hour to really flesh everything out and give us a bigger, badder story here. But it looked gorgeous outside of Mario and Peach's face. The backgrounds were beautiful. Most everything in this film was beautiful. Even the scenes where they're underwater with Donkey Kong and Mario still looked great. Just nitpicks. And I would have liked to see them explore more with the Kong army. The Kong army gets defeated in a minute flat. It was so embarrassing. Peach is like, yeah, we got to go to the Kong army. They're the only ones who could save us. They then get eliminated in a minute flat, and Peach basically ends up saving herself. So, like, really stupid storytelling at certain portions here. But overall, I had fun. The most important thing, I personally had fun with the movie. I give it an 8 out of 10. I don't agree with the audience with 96. That's crazy. This movie was not perfect. It wasn't that close to being perfect, okay? And the tomato meter down here, 57 and 4. It used to be at 46%. These scores from the critics are just trash. These people are literally just trash down here. While it's nowhere near as thrilling as Turtle tipping your way to 128 lives, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is a colorful, albeit thinly plotted animated adventure that has about as many Nintendos as Nintendon'ts. So basically, yeah, they're really attacking the plot here. And I can understand why they're like, it was not a 5 out of 10. Come on. The plot was kind of iffy, but like it wasn't 5 out of 10 bad. Come on now. But yeah, there was more references than there was storytelling here. Okay, that's the big thing. But the ending is really where they failed for me. They needed more runtime. So that's going to be the... Oh, God, this is a 50-minute video. I did not notice the time. I was not paying it. We're going to end the video right now because that's a very long video. Okay. I am so sorry, guys. I did not realize this shit was aiming for an hour here. We're going to end the video. I want to know if you guys... Do you agree with me? 8 out of 10? I think that's a great score there. 8 out of 10. It's very reasonable. And I want to see a sequel. I want to see more from Mario's family. We did get some interesting backstory that Peach comes from like somewhere else. She might be from a different like universe or multiverse or some shit. She seems to be coming from somewhere else. It would be really interesting to get a backstory. Maybe they do a spin-off with Peach, where she came from and how did she become the princess of like all these mushroom people, you know? Like they kind of just, she's a human and they're just like, yeah, let's make her our princess. Like what the hell? where was like Toadette? You know, why not elect like Toadette to be the princess? I don't know. I'd like some more backstory on that. I guess we're getting a DK spinoff here. So, at least we'll get some Donkey Kong lore, hopefully. And other than that, I feel like we needed a little bit better of a story. We needed a better ending. And there's a bunch of nitpicks in between there that I listed already that I'm not going to go over. That's the end of the video. Let me know if you agree with me. Comments down below, please. And like my video, share my video, subscribe, and why not watch an ad for your boy Sandro. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. Bye-bye. And have a great day. Peace.